Olivia. Welcome back to my channel. So I hope you're ready for another Disney story time. Today I'm doing part 2 of my worst shifts ever as a Walt Disney World cast member. Last week I shared 2 stories with you. Today you will be hearing the third one. Next time's video is going to be a lot more behind the scenes of what it's like being a cast member. I'm going to tell you some things that you probably didn't know about the parks or didn't notice about the parks or being a cast member before. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so that you know when I upload. I also wanted to let you know that with The Bachelor ending, if you didn't know, I do like Bachelor episode reviews each week. With that ending, and now that I want to turn this channel into just a Disney channel, I'm going to change my upload schedule to every other week. So this week there will be a video, and then not next Friday, and then the next Friday there will be. So it's even more important that you hit the bell button for notifications and subscribe. Before we jump in, I also want to say that this video is not sponsored by Disney. I don't currently work for Walt Disney Company. I did work for Walt Disney Company in fall 2016 as a character performer, and I have the utmost respect for this company. All my stories that I tell, everything that I share with you, I try to do it with respect, and I think I do a really good job with balancing being respectful, but also having fun and just sharing my fun experiences. So without further ado, let's jump in. In order to fully appreciate this last story, let me tell you about how a normal, average, typical day as a performer would go for me. So it would start the night before when I would pack my lunch, get it all ready, so I only had to throw like the stuff from the fridge in my lunch pail the next morning. I would set my clothes out, set my backpack out, so everything was ready for the morning. Then I would check the bus schedule time, so if I had to be clocked in at 8 a.m., then I would look for a bus that got me there about like 7:45, like 7:30 to 7:45, whatever bus that was. And then whenever time it left Chatham, which was my apartment complex, I would set my alarm for 30 minutes before, because it always took me 20 minutes to get ready in the morning and then 10 minutes till the bus was supposed to leave. That's when I would leave my apartment to walk there, so I would make the bus, get to work. I'd get there, like I said, like 15 to 30 minutes early, so I'd start pulling my costume, getting all ready for the day, go clock in, check in, warm up, grab my costume again, get golf carted over to the location, and then set up everything, get ready to go meet guests out on set. So this week was a week where on the 5 days I worked in 4 different parks and a resort. I think I also worked 3 or 4 different I was friends with 3 or 4 different characters that week, so it was not only like different locations, but different personalities. And then of course, life of a performer, it's not like every single day was like 8 to 5. It would be like a 12 a.m. or not 12 a.m. oh my god, 12 p.m. to like 11:30 p.m. shift, and then the next morning started at 8 a.m. to whatever. So that's what this one was. I think the night before I must have worked a dining shift, because I think I got home at like midnight or a little bit after midnight. The next morning my shift started at 8 a.m. at Hollywood Studios. So I decide that I'm just gonna pack my lunch in the morning, throw some things into my lunch pail, because my shift was from like 8 to 2:30. So I was like, even if I only take like crackers, like a couple of things, I'm gonna be home like pretty early during the day, so I don't need that much food. So I don't pack my lunch, I check the bus schedule, I set my alarm, and then get as much sleep as I can. The next morning I hear my alarm, I'm like, oh my god, that was the quickest couple hours of sleep I've ever gotten. I am so tired. Look at my clock and I go, 7:15. That's quite amazing that I'm able to wake up at 7:15 when my shift's at 8. Oh my gosh, I made a mistake. What had happened was, instead of setting my alarm for 30 minutes before the time the bus came, I set my alarm at the time the bus left Chatham Apartments. So I'm freaking out, so I run to the bathroom, like pop my contacts in, trying to get ready, all of this stuff. Really freaked out that I'm gonna get points. So at Disney there's this thing called the point system. It's really similar to in school when you get so many tardies equals a detention, or so many pink slips equals whatever. That's basically what Disney points are like. So you get 3 points in a couple different areas. 3 points worth of calling out sick, so 3 different times of calling out sick, 3 different times of being late, and then 3 different times of getting reprimands, which means like you did something real stupid like out on set, or did something like mess up things big, and so you get a point for it. And so I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get my first point today. And that's really like kind of terrifying, thinking, oh my god, you can only get sick or call out like 3 times or be late 3 times before you get fired. So I'm freaking out. I'm like running to the front of Chatham. I call an Uber and then I call base and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm gonna be late today, but I'm on my way. I just called an Uber, I'll be there soon. He's like, okay, well, are you gonna make it in time for your first set? And I said, yes, I should be there about 15 to 20 minutes, so I'll make it out set on time. He's like, okay, great. He's like, don't worry about it, just get here safely. We're gonna have someone else pull your costume for you so that when you get here, you're just gonna skip warm up, grab your costume, and then you'll still be able to make it out on set on time. So he's like, okay, great. So I hop in my Uber. Uber driver was amazing, coming in clutch, because I will tell you, there are not many Uber drivers in Orlando at 8 in the morning on a Wednesday. In the afternoon, at night, on weekends, tons of them, but at 8 a.m. on a Wednesday, they're very hard to come by. So hop into his car. He maybe goes a little bit above the speed limit, but I get there, get clocked into work at 8:13, so I'm only 13 minutes late. And within, I don't remember if it's within like half an hour of being late or within like 2 hours of being late, you only get half a point. So because I was there within 13 minutes, I only got half a point instead of a whole point on my record. And record cards are also important, not because like, oh, you don't want to get fired, but because if you want to work for the company again, if you want to extend your program, anything like that, they can see those record cards. And so if they see that you have a habit of being late and calling out and all of that stuff, they're gonna be a lot less likely to hire you. So I was freaking out about that. I also realized as I was walking into base that I only put in one of my contacts, so I was blind out of one eye, which if you wear contacts, then you know it's almost better to just have no contacts in at all than only one. It throws you off so much, like being able to see 20/20 out of one eye and then like not out of the other eye. So I was late and then that happened. So I get to base and he's like, okay, you know, don't worry, she's pulling your costume now. Your partner is also late. We have no clue where she is. She has not called in or anything. So go get your costume and get, you know, driven over to set. So I pull my costume, then I get on the golf cart and the woman's like, oh, is your partner late again? And I was like, oh, like, I don't know. It's my first time working this shift at this location. She's like, okay, well, yeah, it's Wednesday morning. Yep, that girl, she's kind of scatterbrained. She has a habit of this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So I mean, I felt kind of bad. So I was like, oh, well, I was a little late this morning too. So thankfully, like, this person pulled my costume. And she was like, oh, you know, that happens. She goes, but this girl like makes a habit of it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I get driven over to the location. My partner comes soon afterwards. And she forgot a piece of her costume. And so first of all, when that happens, that sometimes is like you could get a reprimand for it, especially since this girl tends to like make it a pattern apparently. But so they called costuming and it was her shoes. They weren't gonna be over before we went out on set, and she's like, okay, I'll just wear my own shoes. Like, I do this all the time. You know, it's fine. I may have mentioned this, maybe didn't, but this day I was hanging out with Donald Duck and he was meeting with Daisy Duck. So this is my first time working that location and working partner work with Donald Duck. When I worked a lot with Minnie and Mickey as partners, and so I was used to like getting rhythm with partners, getting in sync, like kind of learning how to work in a team environment when like you've never met this person before. So obviously I knew it was gonna be a little bit different because it wasn't Mickey and Minnie, it was Donald and Daisy. And with Daisy, you never know what you're gonna get because sometimes Daisy is sassy and feisty and gives Donald a hard time, but deep down she's still welcoming and loves guests, and she's just kind of like narcissistic and just like really loves herself, okay? But that's fine. That's like part of the charm of Daisy. But then sometimes Daisy is feisty and sassy and likes to bring out her witchy side, as I like to call it, and flat out ignore Donald, be mean to Donald, like straight up mean to him. And she's just kind of horrible to work with. And wouldn't you know it, today I got Daisy's witchy side. I hate Daisy Duck in general, mostly because of this, but this experience like certainly did not help her image in my mind. Also with Donald, later in my program I actually got disapproved in that costume because it did not fit right on me. However, before that I didn't know that I could like tell someone like, hey, I'm getting injured in this thing, and hey, this doesn't fit me properly and I'm in a lot of pain. So I just kind of dealt with it. And so whenever I hung out with Donald, it was very painful for me. My back hurt, my neck hurt really, really badly. And I had to like squat and do all these weird maneuvers so that it looked right from the outside. So to recap the part of the story so far, I was late, I have one contact in, I've got a partner who is used to like being late and leaving out her costume, and I'm in a costume that is very, very uncomfortable for me. And did I say, this is the first time I've worked this location and partner work with Daisy Duck. So we go out, we're meeting guests, it's okay at first, but I can't seem to get a rhythm with her. Like usually you get a rhythm of like, oh, the first person like takes the kids while the other one starts signing autographs, and then you switch and they're doing the activity, then activity and picture, and you come up with this rhythm, come up with this nice little system and routine, but I could not get that with this girl. What made it worse, like I said, is she was being particularly sassy and mean and rude to Donald, and there would be times when she would straight up just ignore him, ignore the guests that we were with, and she would just hang over and look at all the guests walking by. And so I would like try to go over to her and like be all playful, like, hey, what are you doing? Come on, like we have guests, like, you know, be nice to them. And she would just like brush me off and like, like look away, all that stuff. So it was a really weird dynamic. Also in Hollywood Studios, every hour on the hour, March of the Order comes out and marches down the main street of Hollywood Studios, which is the Stormtroopers. So the big Star Wars music gets blasted and Captain Phasma leads out her little army of Stormtroopers, and they walk by and then come back, and it's big fun. And so every time the Stormtroopers would come out, Daisy would just drop literally whatever she was doing, run over, and just stare dreamily at the Stormtroopers. It got to the point where literally a family would come up, she would not be paying attention. I would do the entire interaction with the family, meaning hugs, autographs, activities, pictures, and then go over to her and be like, we have guests, like do something, sign this, do something, and she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't listen to our attendant, and the worst part was when we would go backstage, she would act like nothing was wrong, like she was doing her job completely correct. When I kind of like mentioned it to her, she again just felt like she was doing her job, and that's how it was, and well, that's how Daisy is. So needless to say, it was a very, very long day. Constantly just trying to get her attention to interact with guests, which is what we're paying to do. Like these people paid thousands of dollars to come to Florida, to Hollywood Studios, to meet you, just waited in line for God knows how long to get a picture, to get a hug, and you're gonna go look at the guests walking by and wave to them and interact with them and not with us or with me? Like, what? And again, I was struggling because I could not see out of one eye, and I was starving because I did not bring food. I think I possibly got something from the snack machine, but remember on my college program, I had so many food allergies that I literally could not eat anything in the park. So like getting snack machine food wasn't really an option. I might have gotten pretzels or something and then just decided, okay, I'm gonna feel sick from this later, but yeah. But yeah, I worked with that girl one other time, and we weren't partners, but we were at the same location, and her personality is just that she's kind of aloof and doesn't really think about other people or what other people are thinking or their needs or how they're gonna react to her actions. Like she just does things and doesn't think about the consequences for anyone else, which is really frustrating when you're trying to work as a team. So yeah, after that, that's the only time I worked that shift. I gave away all other shifts of that one after that, traded for something else that I liked better because I just hated that shift so much and really didn't want to repeat the experience. I'm pretty sure after this shift too, again, I was really excited because it was, it ended at 2:30, and so I was like, awesome, next day was my day off. So I basically had a day and a half off. So I was like, sweet, I'm in the mood to like go to Magic Kingdom until like 1 a.m. and then play in the parks all day tomorrow. And so that evening I texted some of my friends and was like, hey, like, if anyone's up for going to Magic Kingdom, I'm totally up for it. Let me know your plans. So I know like if I'm riding with you, if I'm taking the bus, like whatever. People, basically they ended up lying to me. I ended up staying home because I was like, oh, I guess no one's going anywhere. And they stayed at Magic Kingdom until like 2 a.m. And then the next day I had more issues with that as well. So it was a rough night for a couple of reasons. But yeah, really bad day at work. I want to say real quick, there is a reason why it took me so long to make this video, and that's because And honestly, I forgot about these experiences. Like, I had so many wonderful experiences that it's actually like difficult for me to remember, oh yeah, that was a crazy guest, or that was a horrible shift or night or whatever. So yeah, I just want to say, even though this sounds like, oh my god, those are 3 really bad days, those were like the 3 worst days I had during my 4.5-month program. So, you know, overall it was a really, really good experience, and I hope you get that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Tell me below what your favorite character interaction has been, or your favorite place to meet characters in the Disney parks. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to also check out all my other Disney crazy story videos and my whole Disney college experience, which I vlogged. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Remember to keep dreaming out loud, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!